Hi, everybody. Ooh. How are you guys? I'm just getting my phone set up here. I was playing with this while I was waiting for time to pass because I was getting so excited. Let's see. Hi, Barb. I see you. And I see Patty. I'm trying to tag Dorothy Forder. Start a watch party. What do we do here? Share. Start. Okay. Start a watch party. What do we do here? Share. Start. Okay. Invite Dorothy. Hmm. Invite Dorothy. All right, I think I'm figuring this out. I see Rhonda and Victoria here. Oh, there we go. Dorothy has found us. Hopefully that problem is solved. How's everybody doing? I'm so excited. I feel rejuvenated even though I've been home for 100 days. So I will try to keep up with the comments and stuff as I am going. This out. I see Rhonda and Victoria here. Oh, there we go. This will be our first project. Hi, Kathy. And I have some samples here to show you of what we're making. So I know that your projects are not going to be exactly like mine, but here is a little bag. Okay. It is about 4 inches tall. So it's pretty tall and can hold quite a bit. So this one I used a circle with the bunny. I made this one with some Easter egg paper and the little lamb. This one I used a hexagon, Happy Easter with some Lawn Fawn bunny. So I tried to do several examples so that you didn't feel like yours wasn't turning out. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'll set those to the side. First thing we need to do is you need to have your pattern paper and all of your supplies. All right, so here is all of my supplies that I have for this particular project. Okay, so I have my 6 by 12 pattern sheet. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score it. I'm going to just zoom out a little. And I'll leave this up here in the corner so hopefully you guys can see. There we go. So first we're going to score it on the portrait side. That is a 2-inch landscape. I love the lamb too, Victoria. All right, so I'm going to get my scoreboard out. And on the portrait side, which is the short side, I am going to score it at 2 inches all the way down. Just like that. Then I am going to rotate it, and I'm going to score on the landscape side at 1 inch, 3 3/4 inches, 6 1/2 inches, and 9 1/4 inches. All right, so we should have that all scored and ready. I hope I'm not going too fast for you. It's really actually kind of weird because I'm watching my screen, and right now I'm just now scoring on my laptop, but I've already obviously scored for you guys. So I am going to burnish all of my score lines just like this. Victoria, they are written right up here. Do you see this? 2 inches on the landscape, on the portrait side. And then on the landscape side, you're going to have 1 inch, 3 3/4, 6 1/2, and 9 1/4. All right, now I'm going to cut on my score lines, and this is the 1 inch side over on my left. And I'm going to cut up to the first score line. And then I'm going to angle cut it to the score line. And then angle cut that piece up there, and those scraps you can throw away. Okay, so right now it looks just like this with this 1 inch flap. Okay, next I'm going to cut from the bottom to the score line on the last 3 sections. And I'm going to angle cut on all of those just because I want my box to fold correctly. Are you back yet, Miss Patty? There we are. All right. So that's what your paper should look like now. There we go. How are you feeling so far? Yes, Rhonda, I will slow down. I'll wait about 1 minute and then I will go on past this step. So we'll let everybody catch up to this. Are you sure you lost volume, or is it just because I went quiet, Rhonda? I wasn't talking, so it could have been just that it's super quiet. All right, so everybody hopefully is up to this point. First off, I'm going to take and flip it over. And I'm going to fold this side in. And with my art glitter glue, I'm going to glue this side down. And lay that over and give it a good press so that it seals nicely. So then when I open it, it looks like this. Yes, Patty, I got quiet because I'm trying to let everybody focus and do a good job. Now this seam is going to be my back. So I'm going to put my finger on it and rotate my thing to the back. Flip this over. So this is my front flap. So I am going to put some glue on my front flap. And I am going to seal it, flip it back over, and then I'm just going to use my bone folder to press down inside there. All right. So it's a pretty big box. Like the base is 3 inches by 3 inches. So it's a good size to fit a good tree in there. Okay. So next, after I have the box done, all sealed on the bottom, find my back again, there it is. I'm going to pinch this so that the sides go out and not in. And I'm going to take my binder clip just for now, just to hold it while I do the other things that I need to get done for my project. Okay, so it looks just like that. And I am done with the bag part. That's it. Pretty easy. Now I still have left these pieces. So I'll go ahead and set this to the side. And this pink piece is going to mat my white circle. And then my white scallop circle, I'm going to fold in half. So I'll go ahead and fold that in half first. You can score it if you prefer. And this piece is actually going to go right here on your bag, just like this. Okay? So you don't have to do anything else to it. It's just going to go right there on your bag. So So I'll set that piece kind of there and then just set it aside. I hope I'm staying inside the camera pretty good today. Okay. Next, I'm going to take this piece of cardstock, which measures 2 by 4, and I'm going to give it a little tick mark at the 1 inch. Okay, just like that. I used my ruler. And then I'm going to just dovetail the bottom of this piece. So on that pencil line, because I know that's my center, I'm going to dovetail. There we go. And then I'm going to bring this half circle that I folded earlier, and I'm just going to put some glue right here on it, on the front, and then I'm going to glue this piece down right in the center of that and line it up with the top. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at now. So if you take this, it will go over the top of this and look like that. Okay. Next, I'm going to take my stamps, and I actually have a bunch of stuff stamped and already cut out because I feel like I have been working on Easter stuff forever. So I think I'm going to use this little lamb. He's already cut and he's ready to be used. And while you guys are catching up, I'm going to just add a little distress ink in my background and maybe a little ground for my lamb to sit on. Okay? Okay, I used Salty Ocean for that, in case you're wondering what color I used. And then I'm going to take my green Copic marker, and I'm just going to make a little grass for my lamb to sit on. Just using the flicking motion. You guys are so quiet. You must be working so hard. This color that I just used for the grass was YG09. Okay. And then I'm going to put him on there with some foam tape. And I'm just going to set him on there just like that. And then I will mat my circle onto my pink, just usually using glue. It doesn't need to be popped up because I'm going to pop it up when I put it on the actual little bag. There's that. And then I'll put some foam tape on the back in the center because it's going to go on that blue dovetailed piece. Actually, it's seafoam green or whatever. So I will set it just like this. And I'm going to put it a little farther down because I am going to punch holes up here to string some ribbon through, and I will show you a couple options of attaching this to your bag here in a second. But for now, I'm going to, so here's what the whole thing looks like if the circle is not folded in half, and it is. Just like that. And here is my scrap piece. And I have this Happy Easter sentiment from Lawn Fawn. Now keep in mind, I know not everybody has Lawn Fawn. So I'm just going to put Happy Easter. You can put whatever sentiment you want. I'm going to stamp it down using my Memento black ink. And then in my picture when we got our instructions yesterday, I said that I was going to use this punch. So I'm just going to line that up in there. Oh, look at that. It is too big. So I won't use that. So I will get out my ancient Creative Memories guillotine cutter. And I will just cut a strip using this instead. All right, so that's what it looks like, all cut nice and straight. And then I'll trim off the edges like so. And then I will take some more foam tape because who says when in doubt, pop it out. Isn't that right? Miss Victoria, what's his name says that? Richard. When in doubt, pop it out. Woo woo. All right. So now I'm going to put my Happy Easter on the bottom of this. There we go. That looks pretty cute. I do like the little lamb. Makes me want to sing. Yeah, RG. RG presents. All right, so I'll give everybody a second to catch up to this, and then I'm going to, while you guys are working, I'm going to cut or get my white ribbon out and my hole punch so I can show you how I'm going to attach this ribbon. But there is a couple different ways that you can attach it. And let me grab those bags and I will show you. So on the first bag that I made, I just did one hole and I just did it through all the layers, and then I strung the ribbon through, and then I tied some twine around the top to secure it. Okay, I don't feel like that's very secure, like you can open that. And I did it the same way on this one, but I used a staple under there. A staple is going to rip your project when you go to open it. So while it seals well, I'm not sure that I would recommend that method either. But the method I found to be the easiest was to punch 2 holes and tie a bow in the front just like that. So I think that's the method I'm going to go for. And this 3-inch die cut here, this was from the Ornate Frames from Halloween. I just did it on pink paper and put it on there instead of using a scallop circle, and I think that looks just adorable as well. So I'm going to opt for the 2 holes for this one. And I'm just using my 1/8 inch circle punch. So before you close it, now you may not want to close yours yet unless you have candy ready to go. I do, because I do not want to reopen this. I'm going to stuff some Easter grass in there. And then I'm going to throw some Easter candy in there. There we go. That way I don't have to open mine back up. And now I'm going to make sure all my Easter grass is shoved in there. And I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to hold it, center it the best you can. Okay, if you're looking at it straight on, you want to make sure that your back white piece is centered within those score marks. Either a little inside it or a little outside on both. So just do your very best. Then I'm going to take my 1/8 inch quarter punch and I'm going to punch 2 holes, one on each side. Okay. They are both punched. Okay, they're not super even, but it is what it is. Now I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to string it through those holes from the front to the back, and then from the back to the front. There we are. I did that just for you, Victoria, that whole when in doubt, pop it out. Just for you. Brings back old memories, right? Memories. Oh, memories. Okay, I'll stop singing now. All right, so I'm going to pull that so it's pretty straight on the back. Okay, so it's as straight as it's probably going to get. And then now I'm just going to, with my ribbon, tie a bow. And then I'll trim off the excess. Now keep in mind, you probably don't want to do this part because you want to put your treats or whatever in there first, so then you don't have to open it and try again. All right, there's my bow. I'm going to trim off this side, and I'm going to trim off this side, and ta-da, we have another Easter bag ready to be gifted. How'd we do? So I'm going to now start cleaning up from this first project and get ready for the next project. Keep in mind, if you feel like I'm going too fast, I will be uploading this to YouTube later today. And then you can always go back and watch and get the parts that you missed. It will be an unedited version, so you will get all of the lovely chatter that is associated with it. All right. So there we go. Now, somebody's texting me, and if it's one of you that are online, I cannot check it right now because I am currently live. This is the next project's measurements. You had a 2 3/4 by 9 inch pattern. You had 3 1.5 by 9 inch strips of cardstock. You have a 3 by 4 piece of cardstock, and then you'll have some scraps for die cutting and stamping. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. Let me show you my samples. Oh no, Rhonda, I'm sorry. This is the next project we're making. Little Easter basket that says Happy Easter. And then I have this one that already has candy in it. It's just some different pattern paper. So I got all these ideas from my upline. Miss Angie Judah. So I can't take credit for them. Like, I didn't design these projects. I am just showing you how to do them. So, all right. So this is the next two projects. This next project is super, super easy. And it will go rather quickly. So the first thing we're going to need is we're going to take this piece here. This is our 3x4" piece of cardstock. And we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. So this one I can use my little scoreboard. 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. This makes the base or the bottom of our basket. And I'm going to fold on all the score lines. There we go. And then we're just going to cut so that we have tabs. So I'm just doing a little angle cut on those corner tabs so that they don't stick out. Okay. All right. All right, so I'll give everybody a second to catch up to that. Hi, Lori, how are you? So this essentially makes, when you glue it all together, it makes a little box. Just like that. Okay. So I'm going to put a little glue on all 4 of these tabs. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue my box together. You could be using score tape or red line tape, but this liquid glue works just fine. And it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. And we'll hold that. And that's it. That is the whole box. I will be using my score tape. This is 1/4 of an inch. You can use 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. You can use tear and tape, or you can continue to use your liquid glue. For the remainder of the project, I will be using the tear and tape just because I don't have to wait for any dry time. All right, so I'm going to set this piece just to the side there, and I'm going to take my 9 by 2 3/4, and I'm going to take 2 of my strips, and I'm just going to lay these across the bottom and the top of this piece of 9 by 2 3/4 pattern paper. There we go. And I just use the edge of my acrylic block to tear that And then I just need a piece on the back, just on that edge. Peel the backing off. And then I'm going to just lay these 1/2 inch strips even along the bottom and the top edge of my pattern paper. So there's one. And there's two. How are we doing so far? Everybody doing okay? Is this project a little bit easier because it has less pieces? All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my box and I'm going to put this tear and tape around the bottom edge, just like this, all the way around my box. Okay, just like that. And then to the front, and I'll just trim that. Okay, give it a good press so when I remove my backing, the adhesive will stay. All right, so this part, taking the backing off, is probably, I will say, the trickiest part of the whole project. So on the back, I have this strip. So I'm going to start with the opposite end, and I'm going to lay it even with the bottom, and I'm going to start in the middle of one of my long sides. So it looks just like that. Okay, I've stuck it down just like that. Okay, then I'm just going to slowly push and wrap, because if you notice on my original, these are not scored, so they're kind of loose, round type corners. So, you know, we just want to go around as tight as we can around our base, keeping our this piece as straight as possible, in line with the bottom. Okay, and before I get to the back, here's where I'm going to take off this backing of the tear and tape, because when I come around back, I'm going to glue it down and seal it. Okay, that's initially the whole project right there. You attach your handles and your decoration on the front, and we're good to go. Okay, so just make sure you give it a good press. If you want, you can take your bone folder and press it real good all around the inside base. And voila. I'm sorry, Patty. This is my first rodeo. We're learning a lot. My last 1/2 inch by 9 inch strip, I'm going to put tear and tape at each end. And then I'm going to just run my bone folder, and it kind of curls it, so it bends it a little bit easier, which will make attaching it to your basket a little bit easier. Take that piece off. And stick it in there. Now, there's no measurement for this. Just stick it in as far as you want so that your handles are as tall as you want. I would like my handles to be a little shorter, so I stick mine probably a little over an inch down in the side there. Okay. Now I'm going to put these two back out here so you can kind of get an idea of where we're headed, and I'll work on the one in the middle. Candy's falling out of the yellow one. Okay. All right, so this one, I had this cut and ready, so I kind of feel like I'm going to just stick with that. I'm just going to take that Distress Oxide that I had used earlier, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edges just to make it pop a little bit. And it's here on my desk. So I'm going to use some foam tape. Yay, Victoria, I'm so glad you love it. And they're super easy projects. I hope that my instructions were easy enough where you are able to recreate and make a bunch of these in no time. All right, so here is my Easter Bunny. I think I'm going to offset him a little bit like that. And then I have my scrap. I'm going to stamp on pink the same Happy Easter that I used on the last project, because it's already mounted on my block. There we go. And I think I'm going to take that same ribbon from the last project, and I'm going to just tie a little bow on here. There we go. Pull it tight. That'll work. I think I'll take a glue dot and stick my bow right on top. That would be cute. My glue dot. Stick it down. There we go. And now I'm going to just trim up my Happy Easter sentiment. Go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to use my little guillotine cutter. And this one, I think I'm just gonna put some mini dimensionals along the bottom of it. And that way it'll just kind of go along the bottom just like that. And some of it will overlap onto the bunny. Oop. Here we are. Oh, good, Rhonda. I'm glad. All right, so there is that one. And we can go ahead and fill it with Easter grass and some treats, and it's ready to be given to somebody for a cute little Easter gift. All right. I'm going to go ahead and clean up from that project. And I'm going to start getting the paper out for the next project. There we go. All right. Project number 3. Now here are the samples that I shared. But I'm going to use a different stamp set today so that it's not the same as that one. And this one I think I'll actually do some stamping in front of you instead of digging through my pre-stamped images. All right, so these flowers on here come from the Blossom Punch that was in the Celebration catalog, free with a $100 order. I have been using it a ton, and all of these flowers were actually punched out from that special paper that was from Stampin' Up. I know Rhonda bought it. I mean, it's got the flowers on this side and it has the stripes on this side, but the flower matches up exactly. So you just stick it in there. From what I've heard, I think that this punch will be in the next catalog. So even though you can't get it right now, I think it will be available in the next main catalog. Okay. All right. So I already have a bunch of these flowers punched out, so I'm not going to punch a bunch more. But this pattern paper here is the back side of this Stampin' Up paper. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah. It is called the Pleased as Punch Designers Series paper. It was only out during the celebration time. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna set those things aside. Now, I did tell you you only needed a pattern paper that was 4 by 5 1/4. And on the first card, that's all I used. But on the second card, I did a piece of glitter white that was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And so on this card that I'm going to make with you today, I also have that same backing because I want this piece of pattern paper matted. So again, that measurement, if you want your pattern piece matted, is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Or for those of you who count lines, that's 4 and 2 little lines, and then by 5 and 5 little lines. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to glue. I'm going to just glue flat the pattern paper to the cardstock, but I'm going to take the cardstock and I'm going to pop it up. This pattern paper that I'm using right now is Doodlebug. What's not funny, Patty? I think I'm hilarious. You know you think I'm funny too. Barb, you're awfully quiet. Are you working with us? All right, now I'm going to take my foam tape, put it on the back of here. Ow, I stabbed my finger with my scissors. Do not do that at home. All right. There we go. And now I'm going to center this right on my card front. Now here's my white piece that I'm going to stamp on, so I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to now put these pieces that I have left, and I just put them on a little crooked, okay? Pick some colors that I see in the pattern paper in the background. Okay, just like that. Now, what are we going to stamp? That is the question. Well, I think I'm going to use this Welcome Easter set. I've used the bunny today, I've used the lamb today, and now I'm going to use the chick on this card. Go ahead and get the chick out. Put it on a block. Here is my piece that I'm going to stamp on using my Memento black ink. Going to stamp that chick down. Perfect. How cute is that? Barb is not tired of me today. She's just working super hard. I'm going to take my Y06 to color my bird. I'm going to do one color shading. Using the flicking motion. Build up color where I want it darker. Yes, the rest of you are devoted. Okay. Give that a second. I will add my orange to my beak. This is YR04. And I think on this one, just for added detail, I am going to just draw a little thin black line around the edge of my white square. Okay. Get a little adhesive on there. Pop it down. Now I'm going to add some of those flowers for my embellishment. So I have these two that I already punched out. And we'll put an orange one. And maybe this red colored one. And another pink one. There we go. And so one thing I did on my flowers is I took a second and I just kind of pulled the edges. And so it kind of rounds it up so they kind of stick out a little bit from the card. And 5 is a good number. There we go. Only Victoria is hopelessly devoted to me. All right, so I'll take my mini dimensionals and stick those down and then stick a flower right on the top of it. And yes, I know that some of you don't like flowers, but guess what? You don't have to use them. I think flowers are Eastery and springy and just so cute. And then I'm going to add some rhinestones to the centers of my flowers to give them a little extra pop. But we love her just the same. She's been my sanity helper this week. When everybody else is so busy working and can't talk to me, she's my one and only. Little bling bling. And there we have one Easter card ready to go out in the mail to your friends. If you want to mail it to me, my address is, no, haha, you don't need to mail it to me. Mail it to somebody who could use it, like maybe a neighbor who's alone in this horrible time of quarantine. Yeah, I know, Victoria. We were on Facebook, though, and you were on Zoom, you silly girl. But I appreciate it, especially for my sanity. All right, so there we go. That is our third and final project. This was fun. I'll keep you posted. Maybe I'll have something else for us to work on next weekend together. But I'm glad those of you who joined who could, and if I went too fast in some parts, check my YouTube channel later today. It'll probably be up there. I just got to figure out how to save this video and put it up onto YouTube. Love you all. Have a fabulous rest of your Saturday. And don't work too hard, because heaven forbid we get anything done during this quarantine.